Hey guys, my name is David and I'm the administrator for the Decred voting service provider over at decredvoting.com. This video will review how to get set up for splitting Decred proof of stake tickets using the graphical versions of the software. Stay tuned for another video covering the setup of the command line utilities. Ticket splitting allows you to participate in Decred's unique governance model without the need to purchase an entire ticket, which currently costs over 110 Decred each. With ticket splitting, you can participate with as little as 5 Decred. Before we get started, you'll need to have your wallet already set up. This video does not cover the initial setup or the installation of Decrediton, so if you need assistance, the Decred docs are a great place to start. Check the links in the description below. I also want to mention that if you need assistance with anything shown in this video, I'm easily reachable via my email at support@decredvoting.com or via instant messenger on our Slack and Telegram channels. Links for these will also be in the video's description. And let's take a look at the setup. So to begin, head over to decredvoting.com and sign up for an account. I've already signed up for my test account, so I'm going to leave you do that, but you should expect an email to arrive shortly after signing up, which contains a confirmation link. Once you click that confirmation link, you'll be able to sign into your account. And when you sign in, you should be dumped to the settings page, and right at the top of the settings page you'll see this API token, and we want to copy the entire token, making sure we don't leave off any characters at the beginning or the end, and open up Decrediton. In Decrediton, go to the tickets page, and in the add a stake pool section, select decredvoting.com from the stake pool drop down menu. Paste the API key that you've copied and press continue. Enter your wallet password and give it about 5 seconds, and you should see the configured stake pool pop up. And if you weren't able to follow that, it's probably because you already had a stake pool configured in Decrediton and your screen looked about like this. The way to find the add a stake pool button if you already had a stake pool added is to click the little settings wheel on the right, then click the blue and white circle on the left, and here you'll see the Add Stake Pool button. Now mine's grayed out because I just added the stake pool and that triggered a rescan, but your button should be blue and it should allow you to add the stake pool there. So the next step here is to download the ticket splitting utility. If you head back over to decredvoting.com, click on the ticket splitting menu item, and this page is actually going to completely change once I finish this video. I'm essentially getting rid of all this text and replacing it with this video, but I'll still have the download links on here, so take a look around, see if you can find the one for your operating system. I'm on Windows, so I'm going to download this one. And as soon as it's done downloading, I'm going to extract it. And inside of the split ticket buyer folder that was extracted, you should see the split ticket buyer GUI, and if you double click that to run it, Windows might complain that it's not a recognized app, but if you hit more info and run anyway, that'll allow you to start it up. So this is the main user interface for the split ticket buyer, and before we continue on with the setup, I want to go over each of these options just to get you a little bit more acquainted. So at the top here you'll see the max amount in DCR, and there's a slider bar that allows you to select an integer, and what this integer represents is the most that you're willing to contribute towards a single split ticket. And I say it's the most because it's not always the exact amount that you'll contribute. It's usually pretty close, but it's not exact because it just really depends on how many other participants there are and the amounts that they've each contributed. Next you have the session name, which can be a word or a number or any sort of string, and this helps to either join users together to purchase a split ticket or to separate different users that maybe have different agendas on how they want their tickets to vote. So for example, if you and I have the same session name, then our max amount that we're willing to contribute will go towards the purchase of a ticket together. Next we have the wallet passphrase, and this is obviously your wallet password. This is required because the split ticket buyer has to connect back to Decrediton, both to make sure you have the amount of Decred you're saying you do, and to sign the transaction and send it to the network when the session is ready to be filled. Next, we have the Participate button, which we'll be getting to in just a minute, and below that we have the console output window, which usually always shows your current configuration. And now we're going to continue on with the setup. So in the config menu, go ahead and click Load from Decrediton. This will make you select your wallet and your pool, and it'll reset the configuration to any values that it just pulled from Decrediton. And for the initial setup, this is exactly what we want. So now we want to make sure in this console output window that your vote address is populated and that your pool subsidy address is populated. We also want to make sure the matcher host shows decredvoting.com. Now, recently I've heard of a couple problems that different users on different systems, including Windows 10 and Linux, especially Ubuntu, have been having. You don't need to do the following step, but if you have problems with the setup or connection, then you may want to come back to this spot in the video and try the following instructions. And these instructions are for editing the configuration file for Split Ticket Buyer to update the matcher host. So to do that, we're going to navigate to the hidden directory. If you're on Linux, the folder is called .splitticketbuyer, and it's inside of your home directory. If you're on Windows, the easiest way to get there is to open up Windows Explorer, type in local app data, go down to Split Ticket Buyer, and edit split-ticket-buyer.conf. And in here we're going to change the matcher host. So instead of decredvoting.com, we're going to change it to matcher.decredvoting.com:8475. Save the file here and close it. Now back in the Split Ticket Buyer, it's important that you don't re-click Load from Decrediton, because that will reload all the values and it'll wipe out that configuration file. Instead, you can hit Show Config, and that'll show you that the matcher host has in fact been updated. And again, you may not need this. I don't think most people do, but if you do have problems, try that, and then if you still need help, I'd be happy to help you. So we're ready for a test now, and going back to my wallet, looks like I only have 10.5 Decred in this test wallet. So I'm going to choose 10 Decred. And you may be wondering, okay, what if I want to contribute my 10.5 and not have that 0.5 Decred left over? And unfortunately, you can't do that in the graphical version of the Split Ticket Buyer. It is possible with the command line setup, which I will have another video on shortly after this one. And that's the one I primarily use for that reason. But for this example, I can only contribute up to 10. For my session name, I'm just going to enter my test session and enter my wallet password and click on Participate. Now this shows a participation disclaimer, and the developer Matheus D has advertised that this is a beta software and there are some risks involved. I personally accept them, and having the experience of running Decred voting and not running into any major issues, I don't think the risks are very large at all, but definitely take a look at them because these are your funds and this is a third-party application. But I do accept the risks, so I'm going to continue on. And we'll see some activity down here in the console window. We'll see connecting to wallet, connecting to DCRD, connecting to matcher service, and at the end we should see waiting participants with the amount we contributed and the total amount in the session. And if you see that, you're good to go. You are now all set up for ticket splitting. So I don't think anybody's going to be using the session name my test session, so I'm going to stop participation and change the session name over to our public session name called Decred Voting 1 and hit participate. And I'm still joining with 10, and it looks like, wow, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 participants with a total of 87 Decred. So this ticket is nearly full, and as soon as it gets full, all of our pledges or our contribution amounts will actually be spent or locked and traded for a portion of this single split ticket. So also you can check the status of live sessions in two different places. I have a list at the bottom of the ticket splitting page on my website with the current session status. We can see the same thing, except here we don't see the session name. This is actually a hashed version of the session name, but we do see the individual participant amounts and we see the total. So this ticket right now that we're all contributing to, again, nobody has spent these coins that they're pledging, and you're free to leave the session or join in from a different wallet or change your amount. And until the session fills up and there's enough total DCR to purchase a single ticket, nobody's coins are spent. So I can go ahead and fill the session here to show you what that looks like. And I'll be doing that from another wallet on my end. But just keep your eye on this console output window because a lot of output flies by when the session is full and the ticket is purchased. So that was almost too fast to see, but a ton of output flew by, and we see success buying split ticket. So at this point, your Decred are spent, and you can see the individual participant amounts. You can see who was selected to be the voter, and your Decred are now traded for a split ticket. The only thing you have to do now is sit back and wait. You can go ahead and close the split ticket buyer and Decrediton, and my site will actually email you a split ticket purchase confirmation, and you'll also get a vote notification when this ticket is called to vote. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and feel free to hit me up if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm happy to help. I'm always around on Telegram, Slack, and email, and I really do enjoy running this service for everyone. Thanks.